Welcome to Critic's Playground, where ideas play and perspectives shine. Get ready to step into a space where every conversation sparks growth, discovery, and reflection. Critic's Playground is not your typical critique. It's a place where we dive deep into all kinds of debates, from world news to culture, current events, and everything in between. Here, we bring you honest, thoughtful analysis, offering both sides of every debate to help you see the full picture. We're kicking things off with Critic's Playground, Debate Review, a series that brings you engaging, fast-paced discussions where we examine all perspectives, challenge assumptions, and invite you to join in on the conversation. Each debate is thoughtfully broken down, with clear transitions from one topic to the next, keeping you engaged and making sure you never miss a beat. At Critic's Playground, we're redefining what it means to be a critic. We're not here to tear things down. We're here to explore ideas, uncover hidden truths, and encourage meaningful conversations. Whether we're celebrating the good, questioning the flaws, or sparking deeper insights, every discussion is an opportunity for growth and reflection. So if you're tired of surface-level opinions and crave more insightful, impactful debates, this is the place for you. Like, comment, and subscribe to be part of a community that values thoughtful reflection and believes in the power of honest, balanced critique. Join us in the playground where every debate brings something new and inspiring.
On the playground, we debate. Critics talking, we relate. Hot takes, no, we don't wait. Spit the truth, we captivate. Show me what you got, don't hesitate. Critics Playground is our fate. Talk the talk, don't you be late. On the stage, we elevate. Voices loud, we dominate. Critics bow, they can dictate. Bust a move, don't.
Welcome to the premiere of the Critics Playground Debate Review. In this very first episode, we're stepping into one of the most transformative forces of our time, technology and artificial intelligence, AI. From reshaping industries to challenging our understanding of creativity and ethics, AI is everywhere, and its influence is only growing. As we face the future, questions about AI's role in our lives, its potential to replace human workers, make life or death decisions, and even redefine what it means to be creative are more pressing than ever. So, are we on the cusp of an AI-driven utopia, or are we facing the end of humanity as we know it? Let's dive into the most heated debates surrounding this new frontier and get ready for some mind-bending discussions that could change the way you see the world. AI ethics. Should AI make life or death decisions? Can AI ever truly be creative? To kick things off, let's dive into the realm of AI ethics. With the rapid advancements in AI, we're now facing questions that go far beyond productivity or convenience. Should AI have the power to make life or death decisions, especially in fields like healthcare or autonomous vehicles? Team AI for Life or Death believes that AI has the potential to save lives by making decisions faster and more efficiently than humans can. With the ability to analyze vast amounts of data in real time, AI could help doctors diagnose diseases faster, predict natural disasters, or even make critical decisions in emergency situations where human response times might be too slow. For many, the appeal lies in the precision, objectivity, and scalability of AI decision-making. But Team Human Oversight raises serious concerns about putting life or death decisions in the hands of machines. AI lacks the empathy, intuition, and moral judgment that humans bring to these high-stakes situations. Machines might follow logic, but will they truly understand the value of a life or the context of human suffering? And what happens if the AI makes an error? Can we trust a machine to weigh human emotions, ethical dilemmas, and personal circumstances the way a human can? In this debate, we're not just talking about technological advancements. We're talking about what it means to be human. Should AI make life and death decisions? Or is this a step too far in the automation of society? Job automation. Will AI and automation create more opportunities, or will they destroy jobs, leading to mass unemployment? Next, we turn to a topic that strikes fear in the hearts of many: job automation. As AI continues to evolve, it's increasingly capable of performing tasks once reserved for humans. From self-checkout kiosks to automated warehouses, AI is beginning to replace jobs in nearly every industry. But here's the question: is this progress, or will it lead to widespread job loss? Team Optimistic Future argues that AI and automation will actually create new jobs. Sure, robots might take over some menial tasks, but as technology advances, new industries will emerge, leading to a demand for skills we haven't even imagined yet. Just as the Industrial Revolution created new jobs and opportunities, AI could help us rise to new challenges and free us from repetitive, low-skill work. On the flip side, Team Caution is worried about the long-term consequences. If AI can do almost everything a human can, what will happen to the millions of people employed in industries ripe for automation? Will we see mass unemployment and economic instability as AI replaces human workers? And will the education system be able to keep up with the need for new skills? And most importantly, what happens to those left behind? Will the benefits of AI be distributed fairly, or will they exacerbate income inequality? Is AI going to empower us with more opportunities, or is it about to take away the jobs that people depend on? It's a clash of ideologies that could define the future of work. AI in healthcare. Is AI capable of replacing human doctors, or does it require human oversight for critical decisions? Finally, let's turn to one of the most controversial and critical applications of AI: healthcare. In recent years, AI has made huge strides in the healthcare sector, from diagnosing diseases to predicting patient outcomes. But does AI have the capability to replace human doctors? Or is it just a tool to support human expertise? Team AI Healthcare Revolution believes that AI is on track to revolutionize medicine. With its ability to analyze medical data at a speed and scale far beyond human capabilities, AI could help doctors make faster, more accurate diagnoses, predict diseases before they occur, and create personalized treatment plans for patients. In emergencies, where every second counts, AI could be the difference between life and death, acting as a virtual assistant that supports doctors in making quick, informed decisions. But Team Human Touch argues that medicine is more than just science. It's about understanding the patient, providing emotional support, and making judgment calls that require empathy and nuance. Can a machine truly replace a doctor who understands the fears and concerns of their patients and has the human touch that can't be replicated by algorithms? And in critical situations, is it wise to place such life-altering decisions in the hands of AI without human oversight? AI in healthcare is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it promises to enhance medical practices and improve outcomes. But on the other, it risks stripping away the deeply human elements of care. So, should AI replace human doctors, or should it remain a tool under human supervision? Closing thoughts. As we wrap up the premiere of the Critics Playground debate review, one thing is clear: AI is no longer just the stuff of science fiction. It's shaping our world, whether we're ready for it or not. From healthcare to job automation, and even the ethical dilemmas of AI making life or death decisions, technology is challenging us to rethink the boundaries of what's possible, what's ethical, and what's human. The future of AI is both exciting and uncertain, and it's up to us to shape the narrative. Should AI be trusted to make decisions that affect our lives? Can it create new opportunities, or will it leave us behind? And when it comes to healthcare, is AI the future of medicine or a dangerous step too far? There's no easy answer, but the debate is far from over. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. What's your take on the future of AI? Is it our greatest ally or our most powerful adversary? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more of the most thought-provoking debates. And don't miss the next episode of Critics Playground Debate Review. where we tackle the biggest questions of today and tomorrow. The future is here, and it's up to us to decide how we'll navigate it. And stay tuned, because there are 4 more intense debates coming up in this video that you won't want to miss. Welcome to the Critics Playground Debate Review. In this episode, we're tackling one of the most pressing issues of our time: climate change and sustainability. As our planet faces unprecedented weather events, rising sea levels, and environmental destruction, the urgency for change has never been greater. From global climate activism to the role of green technologies and the responsibility of corporations, we are at a crossroads in how we address our environmental future. The question is, will we act swiftly enough to secure the future of our planet? Or will we continue to talk about change without truly committing to it? This is a debate that requires all of us to rethink how we live, work, and interact with the world around us. Climate activism. Are we doing enough, or are we just talking about it? How do we balance urgent action with political will? First up, we dive into the debate on climate activism. Climate change has moved from a distant threat to a daily reality. But are we truly doing enough to address it? Are global protests, grassroots movements, and high-profile campaigns pushing for real change? Or are we simply talking about it without the necessary political will to drive meaningful action? Team Urgency argues that the climate crisis demands immediate and radical action. With natural disasters becoming more frequent, ecosystems collapsing, and vulnerable populations suffering the most, activists believe that every second counts. They point to youth-led movements like Fridays for Future and climate figures like Greta Thunberg, who demand concrete policies, fast transitions to renewable energy, and a drastic reduction in carbon emissions. But Team Pragmatism suggests that while activism is vital, it must be matched by realistic political will and achievable policy changes. Are we asking governments to do the impossible, given economic and political complexities? Can we achieve ambitious targets without breaking economies, creating inequality, or destabilizing societies? Is there room for balance between urgent action and the political frameworks necessary to sustain long-term, worldwide change? Climate activism is undeniably crucial, but how do we ensure that action isn't lost in the noise of politics and bureaucracy? Are we doing enough, or are we just spinning our wheels? Green technologies. Can we transition to renewable energy without sacrificing economic growth? Next, we turn to the heart of the matter: green technologies. The push toward a renewable energy future has never been stronger, but the question remains: can we transition to greener solutions without sacrificing economic growth? Can renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power replace fossil fuels without destabilizing economies or displacing workers? Team Renewable Revolution believes the future of energy lies in clean, sustainable alternatives that can power our world without harming the planet. They argue that renewable energy isn't just a solution to climate change. It's also an economic opportunity. Clean energy can create jobs, boost innovation, and diversify economies, reducing our dependence on volatile fossil fuel markets. Countries that invest in green technologies today are poised to lead in the industries of tomorrow. But Team Economic Stability warns that the transition to renewable energy comes with substantial costs. How do we make the shift without disrupting industries that are deeply entrenched in fossil fuels? What happens to workers in coal mining and oil drilling sectors? Can they be retrained, or are they left behind in the race for a greener future? And what of countries that rely on fossil fuel exports for their economy? Transitioning too quickly could lead to economic collapse, skyrocketing energy prices, and even geopolitical instability. Is it possible to achieve sustainability without compromising economic growth? Or is this a zero-sum game where we must choose one or the other? Corporate responsibility. Should companies be forced to take more responsibility for their environmental impact? Finally, we turn the spotlight on corporate responsibility. As climate change accelerates, companies are under increasing pressure to address their environmental impact. But the big question is, should they be forced to do more, or should the responsibility be left to individual businesses to decide? Team Accountability believes that corporations have a moral and legal obligation to address their environmental footprint. With global emissions largely driven by corporate activity, especially in sectors like oil, transportation, and agriculture, companies have a crucial role to play in climate action. They argue that regulations, environmental standards, and taxation on carbon emissions should be enacted to push businesses to act swiftly and decisively. If governments aren't able to get it done, then the private sector must step up and face the consequences if they don't. On the flip side, Team Free Market believes that corporate responsibility shouldn't be mandated by the government. Instead, businesses should have the freedom to determine how best to operate in a way that aligns with their values and market forces. They argue that innovation, efficiency, and consumer demand will drive companies to adopt more sustainable practices, and the government should provide incentives rather than impose burdensome regulations. Too much government intervention could stifle innovation, harm businesses, and create an environment where companies focus more on compliance than true environmental impact. Should companies be legally required to take more responsibility for the environment, or should they be free to lead or fail on their own? Closing thoughts. As we close this episode of the Critics Playground Debate Review, one thing is abundantly clear: climate change is not just a distant problem. It's a pressing issue that demands our attention, action, and collaboration. From grassroots activism to corporate responsibility and the role of green technologies, the debates around sustainability are as multifaceted as the planet itself. The question remains: how will we balance urgent climate action with political realities? Can we move towards a green future without sacrificing economic stability? And how much responsibility should we place on corporations to ensure that sustainability becomes the norm, not the exception? These debates will continue to shape the world we live in. So, what's your take? Are we doing enough to address climate change, or are we simply talking about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more of the most thought-provoking debates. Join us next time for another episode of Critics Playground Debate Review, where the world's toughest questions meet their fiercest critics. The time to act is now, and it's up to all of us to decide how we move forward. Welcome to the Critics Playground Debate Review. In this episode, we're diving into the heart of the global stage, global economy, and geopolitics. With 2025 on the horizon, economic instability, shifting power dynamics, and rising geopolitical tensions are front and center. In particular, the US-China relationship is poised to continue shaping global politics, with far-reaching consequences for economies, security, and trade. In a world that's becoming increasingly interconnected yet divided, the questions surrounding global economy and geopolitics are more important than ever. Will the solutions we propose strengthen or fracture our shared global future? Let's dive into the debates that are setting the stage for tomorrow's world order. Economic inequality. Is universal basic income, UBI, the solution to automation and inequality, or will it create more problems? First up, we tackle one of the most pressing issues of the modern age: economic inequality. As automation and AI continue to replace jobs across industries, the fear of mass unemployment grows. The potential solution? Universal basic income, UBI, a system where every citizen receives a fixed amount of money regularly, regardless of their employment status. Team UBI Advocates argues that UBI could be a game changer. In a world where automation threatens to destroy traditional jobs, UBI offers a safety net for the displaced workforce. It would empower individuals to pursue education, start businesses, or simply maintain a standard of living while the job market adjusts to new realities. Supporters see UBI as a step toward a fairer, more equitable society where everyone has a basic financial foundation, regardless of their background or job status. However, team critics of UBI warns that UBI might not be the magic bullet we hope for. Instead, they argue that it could exacerbate inflation, reduce the incentive to work, and lead to a decrease in overall productivity. Additionally, funding UBI could require massive increases in taxes or a reallocation of government spending that could hurt other social programs. Moreover, UBI doesn't address the underlying causes of inequality. It simply cushions the blow of automation without offering a long-term solution to the systemic problems of wealth concentration. Is universal basic income the solution to the coming wave of automation, or will it create even bigger problems that we're not prepared for? Geopolitical tensions. How will the US and China's relationship affect global stability, trade, and security? Next, we move into the realm of geopolitical tensions, focusing on the ever-complicated relationship between the US and China. With two global superpowers at odds, the ramifications for global stability, trade, and security are profound. Team US-China cooperation advocates for a more diplomatic approach. Despite the growing tensions, many argue that the US and China have too much to gain from cooperation. With intertwined economies, global supply chains, and mutual interests in addressing issues like climate change, global health, and nuclear proliferation, both nations could achieve much more through diplomacy and collaboration than through conflict. The question becomes, can they find common ground on critical issues, or are the stakes too high for any meaningful resolution? On the other side, Team US-China rivalry sees the growing tensions as an inevitable reality. The competition for global dominance, whether in technology, military might, or economic influence, has intensified. The US and China's struggle for power and influence will only escalate, leading to a more fragmented world order. The risks include trade wars, security concerns in the South China Sea, and competition for leadership in emerging technologies like AI and 5G. The potential for a new Cold War scenario looms large, leaving many to wonder how this rivalry will reshape the world as we know it. As the US and China square off, the world is watching closely. Will cooperation prevail, or will their rivalry ignite a wave of global instability? Global trade and protectionism. Should countries prioritize national interests, or is globalization the key to solving global crises? Lastly, let's address one of the most fundamental debates of the 21st century: global trade and protectionism. Should countries prioritize national interests and embrace protectionist policies, or is globalization the answer to solving today's most urgent crises? Team National Protectionism argues that countries should protect their own industries, workers, and economies from the uncertainties of global markets. With issues like trade imbalances, unfair competition, and the threat of economic dependency on foreign countries, some believe that nations should focus inward, investing in local industries, supporting domestic employment, and enforcing stricter tariffs on foreign goods. The rise of nationalist movements and political leaders advocating for America First or Brexit is evidence of the growing support for protectionism. In their view, globalization has led to job losses, environmental degradation, and an erosion of national sovereignty. However, Team Globalization Advocates believes that the future of the world lies in interconnectedness. The global economy is more interdependent than ever before. Trade fuels innovation, reduces costs, and brings countries closer together. In today's world, no country is an island. Global challenges like climate change, pandemics, and economic crises require international cooperation. Closing borders and turning inward would only exacerbate these problems. Global trade enables countries to share resources, collaborate on scientific advancements, and tackle pressing issues together. In their eyes, protectionism is a dangerous road back to isolationism. Should countries continue to embrace globalization, or is the rise of protectionism the only way to safeguard their future? Closing thoughts. As we conclude this powerful episode of Critics Playground Debate Review, it's clear that global economy and geopolitics are at a crossroads. The choices we make in the coming years will shape the future of our world, from how we address economic inequality to the way we navigate tensions between superpowers and whether we embrace global cooperation or retreat into protectionism. From UBI to US-China relations, from the risks of automation to the future of global trade, the decisions made today will have lasting impacts on tomorrow. So, the real question remains: how will we manage the delicate balance between cooperation and competition, fairness and profit, security and freedom? The debates are just beginning, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Let us know where you stand. What do you believe is the right path forward for our global future? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more riveting debates. Don't miss the next episode of Critics Playground Debate Review, where we explore the next big ideas shaping the world we live in. The future of the world is at a tipping point. Will we rise together or fall apart? Welcome to the latest episode of the Critics Playground Debate Review. In today's rapidly changing cultural landscape, the entertainment and digital influence scene is transforming before our eyes. With streaming platforms pushing traditional TV aside, influencers shaping public opinion like never before, and new forms of media capturing the world's attention, the questions about what we consume and how we engage have never been more intense. As we dive into the debates, we'll explore how technology, digital platforms, and social media are rewriting the rules of entertainment and challenging the very foundation of how we understand culture. Is traditional cinema on the brink of extinction? Should influencers be role models or simply entertain? And when it comes to reality TV, are we getting a true glimpse of society, or is it all scripted and harmful? Streaming versus traditional cinema. Are movie theaters doomed in the age of streaming, or will the big screen experience make a comeback? The first debate on the table: streaming versus traditional cinema. It's a question that's been on everyone's mind for years. Can movie theaters survive in an era dominated by streaming platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max? Team Streaming Dominance believes that the convenience and accessibility of streaming have irrevocably changed the game. With the ability to watch movies from the comfort of your home, anytime and anywhere, the need for a trip to the theater feels increasingly unnecessary. Plus, streaming services offer exclusive content that movie theaters can't compete with, like the latest hit shows or feature films that premiere directly on the platform. In a world where time is precious, streaming is simply the more efficient option for most people. However, Team Cinema's Last Stand argues that the big screen experience will always hold a unique place in our culture. There's something magical about seeing a film in a theater, surrounded by a crowd, with massive screens and surround sound that create an immersive experience you can't replicate at home. For fans of blockbusters and spectacle films, movie theaters still offer a sense of communal excitement and anticipation that streaming can't match. And let's not forget about the social ritual of going to the movies, a tradition that's deeply ingrained in many cultures. Is streaming the final nail in the coffin for movie theaters, or will the magic of the cinema experience bring audiences back for a resurgence? This is a debate that will define the future of film consumption. Influencers and responsibility. Do social media influencers have a responsibility to promote positive social change, or should they simply entertain? Next up, we tackle one of the most hotly debated topics in today's social media-driven culture: influencers and responsibility. In a world where influencers hold incredible sway over their millions of followers, the question arises: do they have a responsibility to promote positive social change, or are they simply here to entertain and sell products? Team Influencers as Activists believes that influencers have the power and platform to make a real difference in the world. With their ability to reach wide audiences, influencers have an opportunity, and arguably a duty, to use their platforms for good. Whether it's advocating for climate change, racial justice, mental health awareness, or other pressing issues, influencers can use their influence to encourage positive change and raise awareness about important causes. After all, many young people look up to influencers as role models, and it's essential for them to use that power responsibly. On the other side, Team Influencers as Entertainers argues that influencers are not political figures or social leaders. They're entertainers and marketers. Their job is to entertain, create content that people enjoy, and sell products to their audiences. Expecting them to be social activists is unrealistic and unfair. Besides, there's a risk of performative activism, where influencers may push certain causes to align with trends rather than genuinely advocating for meaningful change. In the end, should influencers be expected to wear the mantle of social responsibility, or should we let them simply entertain? Is it fair to expect influencers to take on such responsibility, or is that a burden that undermines their core role in entertainment? Reality TV. Is reality television a genuine reflection of society, or does it promote harmful stereotypes and unrealistic expectations? Finally, we dive into the world of reality TV, a genre that has been both loved and criticized for its portrayal of everyday life. Reality shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, The Bachelor, and Survivor dominate TV schedules. But are they truly a reflection of society, or do they distort reality and promote harmful stereotypes? Team Reality TV as a mirror to society argues that reality TV is just that, a mirror to the complexities of life. These shows often provide a raw and unfiltered look at human behavior, exposing us to new perspectives and experiences we might not otherwise encounter. It's real people dealing with real emotions and situations, even if some parts are scripted or edited for dramatic effect. In that sense, reality TV can be a form of social commentary, reflecting both the beauty and the flaws of human nature. However, Team Reality TV as harmful believes that reality television perpetuates dangerous stereotypes and unrealistic expectations. Many shows rely on over-the-top drama, exaggerated characters, and unrealistic portrayals of love, friendship, and wealth. These shows often portray toxic behavior as entertaining and normalize unhealthy dynamics, such as manipulation, body shaming, and materialism. More importantly, they present a distorted version of reality, making audiences feel like they should aspire to an unrealistic, idealized life. Is reality TV really reflecting the truth, or is it skewing our perceptions and setting harmful standards for what society should look like? Closing thoughts. As we conclude today's episode of Critic's Playground Debate Review, one thing is certain: the world of entertainment is shifting at a rapid pace. Streaming platforms are challenging traditional cinema. Influencers are reimagining what it means to have a platform, and reality TV continues to blur the lines between what's real and what's scripted. In this ever-evolving landscape, the questions we've raised today aren't just theoretical. They're defining the future of how we consume and engage with entertainment. Is streaming killing movie theaters, or is it simply evolving the way we watch films? Should influencers bear the weight of social responsibility, or is their influence meant solely for entertainment? And finally, is reality TV really showing us the truth, or is it just another form of escapism that distorts reality? As we move forward, we'll continue to challenge these ideas, dig deeper into the issues that shape our media consumption, and keep you thinking long after the debate ends. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Critic's Playground Debate Review for more exciting discussions that take you behind the scenes of the world's most controversial topics. Entertainment isn't just for fun, it's a reflection of who we are and who we want to be. Welcome to the Critics Playground Debate Review. In this episode, we're diving into one of the most talked about political agendas of the decade, Project 2025. Developed by the Heritage Foundation, This plan lays out a vision for a more centralized and conservative federal government under the leadership of President Trump. While some see it as a much-needed reset, others view it as a dramatic shift that could redefine the balance of power in America. From reshaping the federal government to proposing sweeping changes in social policies, Project 2025 aims to take America in a bold new direction. But with any major shift, there's a fierce debate. Is this blueprint the key to a more efficient government? Or does it jeopardize democratic principles and civil liberties? Let's explore the key components of Project 2025 and see where the nation stands. Centralization of power. Should the president have increased control over federal agencies? One of the most controversial aspects of Project 2025 is the proposal for centralizing power under the executive branch. The plan calls for the president to have more control over federal agencies, a shift away from the current system of checks and balances. Team Pro-Centralization argues that a stronger executive could lead to a more efficient government. With the president holding more authority, the decision-making process would be quicker, and executive actions could streamline the implementation of policies. The argument is that it would lead to a more decisive government that could act swiftly to address challenges. On the other hand, Team Pro-Balance of Power sees this centralization as a threat to democracy. If the president gains more control over federal agencies, it could undermine the system of checks and balances that is fundamental to American governance. The concern is that too much power concentrated in one branch of government could lead to authoritarianism, eliminating the ability for independent agencies to act as safeguards. So, is a more powerful president the key to a more effective government? Or does it risk tipping the balance too far? Social policy reforms. What's the impact of conservative social changes? Next, we turn to the social policies proposed under Project 2025. From revising laws on certain behaviors to rolling back rights for LGBTQ+ individuals, the plan outlines drastic shifts in social policy. Team Reform supporters argues that these changes are necessary to return to what they believe are traditional values. By reshaping policies on issues like media regulation and the rights of specific communities, they claim that the government is restoring order and aligning the nation with moral principles that align with many conservative beliefs. The argument is that this approach would protect societal norms and families. However, Team Reform critics views these proposed changes as dangerous regressions. The rollback of rights for LGBTQ+ individuals and the tightening of laws could have devastating impacts on civil rights and personal freedoms. Critics warn that these changes might marginalize vulnerable communities and threaten the progress that has been made in recent decades toward equality and inclusion. The question remains, do these reforms serve to protect the country's moral fabric, or do they undermine the rights and freedoms of its citizens? Departmental overhaul. What happens if key agencies are disbanded? A significant part of Project 2025 involves a complete overhaul of federal agencies, including disbanding the Department of Education and the Department of Homeland Security. Team Overhaul supporters argues that the U.S. government needs to scale back and focus on the essentials. By eliminating agencies that they believe have outlived their usefulness, supporters contend that a leaner government would be more effective in responding to national issues and cutting unnecessary spending. On the other hand, Team Agency Defenders points out that disbanding these agencies could create a power vacuum. The Department of Education plays a crucial role in shaping the nation's future through public education, and the Department of Homeland Security is vital for national security and disaster response. Critics argue that dismantling these agencies could leave critical functions unaddressed and weaken the nation's ability to respond to emerging challenges. Would disbanding these agencies make the government more efficient, or would it leave vital services and protections vulnerable? Military involvement in domestic affairs. Is it appropriate to use the military on American soil? Another controversial proposal is the deployment of the military to manage large-scale protests and civil unrest. Under Project 2025, the use of military force in domestic affairs could become more common. Team Military supporters believes that the military can be an essential tool in maintaining order during times of crisis. If large protests escalate or become violent, Having the military step in could restore peace and protect citizens from harm. Supporters argue that in times of national unrest, the military could be a necessary deterrent to prevent chaos. However, Team Civil Liberties Advocates warns that military involvement in domestic matters could undermine civil liberties and lead to the suppression of peaceful protests. The idea of using military force against civilians raises alarms about the erosion of First Amendment rights and the potential for government overreach. Critics fear that this could lead to a slippery slope where the government uses the military to control dissent and undermine democratic freedoms. Should the military play a role in managing protests and maintaining order, or does this endanger the rights of American citizens? Closing thoughts. As we wrap up this episode of Project 2025, Trump's blueprint for America's future, the stakes are higher than ever. From centralizing power in the hands of the president to overhauling federal agencies and reshaping social policies, this agenda challenges the very foundations of American democracy. Is this bold plan the way forward, or does it risk undermining the freedoms and checks that define the nation? One thing's for certain, Project 2025 is reshaping the debate about the future of the U.S. government. It's up to us to decide whether we want to embrace these changes or protect the ideals that have guided the country for centuries. What's your take on Project 2025? Do you believe these reforms are necessary to restore the country's values, or are they a step toward government overreach? Join the conversation in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe for more discussions on the future of American politics. This is only the beginning. What lies ahead could change America as we know it.